What's going on, everybody? 3 drinks down, 2 boxes right now, maybe a third coming later. Nate here, Greg there. I think I'm pointing the right. Nope, pointing the wrong way. Yeah, backwards. Everything's backwards. What are you gonna do? What's up, Greg?
Very little. Friday night. I'm exhausted, but we're pushing through.
We made it through the week. That's all that matters. That's all I know.
Felt like a long week.
It did. And then the next week is still a long week, and then maybe a short week for some. Who knows? Well,
short week for you.
Well, yeah, Memorial Day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll take time off, but you're actually doing some traveling.
Oh yeah. Next Friday, I'll be in Jersey doing a pizza crawl of all things.
Fun. That's fun, man.
I'm sure there'll be some other spirits and beers and things involved too, but you know what you got to do.
More than likely.
Yeah. And then what? Kids are out of school?
The kids are out of school. Their last day is Thursday, the 26th, which incidentally is my youngest son's birthday.
Perfect. Happy birthday to him.
He'll be 13.
That is great. That's actually a great gift. Hey, last day of school, because it's like a party day anyway.
He's excited. He knows about it. They're celebrating it in the school. I think they're celebrating all the May birthdays like this coming week in his class.
Oh, that's cool.
Which if I haven't told anybody, he's my youngest son is autistic and he goes to a school for kids on the spectrum, and there's 4 kids in his class, and I think 2 of them have May birthdays. So they're celebrating those birthdays this week.
It'll feel like their gift is having school be over, sort of, but I know that probably also takes away some normal for them a little bit. Some of them might be a little more anxiety about that, but
I mean, yeah, some of them. Lincoln actually does okay, and he also does. He does a lot of his therapies, his occupational therapy, speech therapy, and stuff. That just continues throughout the summer, and also his school has a shorter break than not. They actually have summer sessions also.
Gotcha.
So he stays on his schedule a little bit more.
So that's just like an extended Christmas or spring break, just all.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Or what you would consider with like some of the schools that are year round.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, because I'm a big. I don't know. Obviously, I'm 25 years removed, but I think I would have loved year round school. I don't know.
Oh, I am a proponent of it. I mean, I think the research is in with that. That the drop off that you have over the summer for a lot of the kids is. It's a real thing. There's educational drop off that you lose when you go from one grade to the next. So you're not starting out at the same place you left off the year before.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, and so even I think it's as soon as the 3rd week they prove that the drop off's measurable, right? Or something. Yeah. I've read about it before, nerd stuff, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, stuff like that I read, and it just for whatever reason it will never help me in my life for anything. It just sticks in my head.
Right, unless you get on Jeopardy somehow, and then that will not be the final question.
I would be terrible at Jeopardy.
I just don't know if I could do the clicker thing. Like I think I could. I would score. I just don't know if I would get through on the clicker.
Yeah, I've read that there's some skill or a technique to that.
It's a twitch thing. And you're not supposed to use your, like most people would think you'd use your thumb. You're supposed to use your pointer finger.
I don't think your thumb is as reflexive as your fingers are, especially your pointer finger.
I mean, it's opposable, so we can flush toilets and things like that as we learn to meet the parents or whichever it was. Yeah, I
was trying to explain what an opposable thumb is to my stepdaughter the other night, and she's such a sarcastic piece of shit. She was just giving me shit. Like I think she knew what it meant, and she was just like winding me down that fucking road. So anyway,
hey, I see we got some people out there. Who's out there? Give us a shout if you're out there.
Yeah, is anybody there? No.
Yeah, hello, just honk if you can hear me. No. Okay.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, I just changed the two. We were tightened in. I'm gonna throw.
I follow.
Oh yeah. Doing a little on the fly production.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, Nate and I are not in the same room tonight. So
yes, no, we are. Well, we're Greg's like, hey, I'll come over, but I don't want to be in the room with you. Whatever. No. Yeah, Greg's at his place.
Another room in Nate's house. Yes.
Yeah, that's how we do. It's just fun.
No, I want to apologize for not having a show last night like we normally would. My oldest son had his spring football game last night, and I don't know other areas of the country what they do, but in Florida, most of the schools have spring ball. It's like a truncated season. They do one game, and they won their game last night, so that was a nice thing.
Yeah, no, we think we talked about that a few episodes back, and Ohio, not one of those states that says spring football.
They don't do that.
They do it de facto. They just don't have a scrimmage. I mean, they're all allowed to do weightlifting, and they all get around and swing the ball with the coaches.
They're training and such. They're just not doing a game. Like they had an actual intra-squad scrimmage game last week, and then this was against another high school, but they did not run any special teams plays.
Gotcha.
Like they weren't doing kickoffs. You were starting the ball at I think they were doing the 30-yard line.
Right.
And then they would do extra points, but the kicks, it was just like, you'd line up and nobody was.
Everybody just does this. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I think special teams is such a weird thing, isn't it? Like, I think it's going to go by the wayside here soon.
Well, it's a lot of people get hurt on special teams plays at every level, and Amy was asking me that last night, and I told her, I said that's where a lot of injuries occur, and nobody's interested in that.
Yeah, I think the only hurdle that people have to get over for in terms of special teams is I think you could change the punting rules a little bit, but the kickoff, right? If you absolutely eliminated the kickoff, there is a problem because of the onside kick. So the one interesting thing I saw, without going, we don't have to go way deep into it.
You know what? That's an interesting thought. That never crossed my mind about that. But
there was one of the leagues or somewhere that they tried out. If you wanted to do an onside kick, you would alerted the official, and you're awarded a 4th and 15 play. And if you converted the first down, you kept the ball.
I don't think it's a terrible idea.
I don't either. I'm sitting here thinking, if you've got a play in the book you're confident you can gain 15 yards with, why not, right? So,
every team schemes up those kind of plays.
Well, I mean, just with the modern passing offense, you're always going to have the levels and whatnot, and you can figure that out.
Right.
So,
yep.
I don't know. We got a couple people filling in here. I don't know if Ryan's going to make it until 8:45, 9 o'clock. As luck would have it, in Ohio weather, they had a makeup baseball game for his son. Start at 7, so I think he plans on joining, but it probably won't be right now. So we're gonna have a little fun until he gets here. What do you think about that?
I'm down.
All right, let's give it a shot here. We did have a comment first. Let's see what that is. Ernie, yo,
Ernie,
what up, Ernie? Yes, Ernie. Thanks for tuning in, dude.
Thanks for joining again, man.
We're gonna take a little side here, Ernie. We'll welcome your comments the whole way through, of course. I'm gonna ask Greg something right now, though, and I really want to know. I've got something in my glass here. Yep. And I happen to have went by Greg's place later to ensure that he has the same thing in his glass.
Earlier.
So, yes, earlier today. So, Greg, I want to know what's in your glass.
It's liquid.
So let me kind of set the stage here. So the way this works is I will give you whatever information you ask about. I will give you as long as it doesn't absolutely tell what it is. Okay. So if you say, is it X, Y, or Z? Okay. I will not register to say that you have settled on guessing as close to what you think you can guess on it, right? Because we know, obviously, you can't ping us an exact bottle sometimes, right?
Correct.
But when you say this is my final answer, that's when we're going to go and we'll check. So if you want to ask along the way and maybe give some ideas on what you're thinking it might be, that's kind of fun. It's kind of how it goes. So,
fair. Okay.
So start off nosing whatever you like, however you like. I know you poured it a while back before we were on camera. So
about 10 minutes ago or so, 15 minutes ago. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So I've got, you can see it right here. It's in this little glass here. This is a Glencairn-ish shaped glass. It's just got a wider mouth on it. This is from the one of the glass purchases that the Tampa Bay Whiskey Society did. You can kind of see that there, the etching on it. It's actually a really nice glass. It's got a solid base on it. I really like the glasses that they use, whoever they're using for that. Anyway, moving on. It's a bourbon. It's a brown liquor. Let's swirl it around here and get a little nose.
And I will try to stay neutral in my reactions too, just so you know, so you're not.
Let me ask you this: have I had this before?
That's a tough question. I believe you've had this brand before. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you've had that particular bottle. I can't answer that.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's fair enough. And also, we don't have all our drinks together.
Brand and product, right? Because brand, we're thinking bigger. There's products within brands, right? So
I got you. I get what you're saying. Okay, so let me get a little nose here and see if I got anything going on. And I'll preface this by saying, I've said this before. I'm probably like a broken record here. I had COVID. I'm pretty sure. I don't know for certain, but it was before everything kind of blew up in the NBA. Shut down all that stuff a couple years ago. But in January of that year, I was sicker than I've ever been in my life. I was sitting on the edge of the bed one afternoon, coughing for like 15 minutes straight. I could not stop coughing, and I was close to going to the hospital, but things got better. But I just thought it was a really bad cold, but it could have been COVID. But ever since then, I lost my sense of smell. The taste is diminished. I get days that some days are better than others, but that's been over 2 years now. It's been weird for me. So let's go from there and see what happens. Tonight's one of the weird.
You're putting the game face on, and even if you have to sleuth this apart instead of being able to smell or quite taste it, you're going to do it. I love it. I appreciate it. There's no putting anyone down with this. Like when Ryan did this last time, that's why I told people, it's like, listen, we're going to get this wrong more often. We get this right.
Oh, that's the thing. I like doing blind tastings also. I think it helps out with your palate. I think I think it really makes you kind of think about what you're doing, and it's the only way to get better with anything like that you're tasting or smelling with food or drink or whatever, is just to try things. So you'll find out what you like then too. All right, on the nose. I told Nate this earlier. What I'm really getting first is just it's burning the nostrils, alcohol kind of stuff. But I now that I'm smelling it more, it's probably opened up a little more. I've swirled it around. I'm definitely
jotting notes, by the way, in case you see me looking down.
Kind of burnt sugar on the nose there. It's sweeter there too. A little smokiness. Okay. Let's go for a little sip here and see what I got. And you know what I might do is stick like a drop of water in this after a sip too. I can
whatever you feel is best for your tasting experience in this whole thing. And so long as, Ernie's not going to make fun of you for that. So.
All right. Definitely got the caramel smokiness in the middle. Warmth on the end. Not real bad though. Kind of a lingering on the tongue a little bit more than the throat chest kind of stuff. All right.
Again, you can feel free to ask any question. I'll have to put the kibosh on if it gives it away, but I'll answer anything you ask me.
Are we a Kentucky-based distillery?
Yes.
Okay. Are we Buffalo Trace Distillery?
No.
Damn. All right.
I usually won't go too far down the road, like if you keep firing them off.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you it's not BT.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Oh, this might be Makers. Is it Makers?
What do you are you so
no,
again, I want to be careful.
Is it from the Makers Distillery?
Okay. I'll answer two more of these, so this will be one of them, okay? No.
Damn it.
Sorry that we're making a little rules up on the fly, but we could easily just go down and keep pinging them, right?
Okay, I'm going to walk around a little bit, so sorry about the shaky stuff. I'm going to put a little drop of water in this thing, and we're going to see if that makes a difference.
It's all right. While you're doing that, I will just come single shot, so we don't have to worry about that. So this is the fun of this game so far. I know Greg can still see me, so I'm very careful not to react, but it's a different approach. Putting water in it. If you guys follow any other whiskey tube videos, just yesterday, Bourbon Junkies put out a whole sciencey thing. Believe it or not, Bourbon Junkies, as goofy as they are, Sean on Bourbon Junkies used to actually be in chemistry related type fields. And so they did the whole water with RO water and then actually brought things down to 100 proof and things like that. It was pretty cool, actually, for their standards. Like, usually think of them as the cut up guys, right? Though they know their stuff, don't get me wrong. But it was super cool. So I hope that stretched and bought you enough time, and clearly it did. So
yeah, no, one drop. One drop's what we did.
One drop.
Like with a dropper.
Oh, he did it formally with a dropper, huh?
Oh, nice. I'm married to a baker. I've got we got stuff in the kitchen.
Gotcha. So any more thoughts? Any more questions?
God, the oakiness, the big characteristic coming through after that one drop of water is the oak coming through. My God, this has got to. I gotta say, this has got to be a higher ABV. All right, this is my final guess. Only because
already. Oh, you sure?
I don't know what else to
ask a few more questions.
My taste is not. It's not working tonight.
Okay.
Like I'd like.
All right.
But those flavors are coming through for sure. So my guess on this is Woodford double oaked.
So that's your final answer.
That's my guess.
That's your final answer.
Yes.
I like that you just went right at it. I really enjoyed that you went right at it. Let me read to you.
I got to be wrong.
Distiller's notes.
All right, let's hear it.
And you're going to say, hey, my senses might be off from COVID. But wait. Okay. The distiller says on the nose, brown sugar, caramel, and a hint of charred oak.
That's what I got.
The taste said caramel and baking spices with hints of oak.
I got the oak. I didn't get any baking spices at all.
The finish says clean and pleasant is all they said. And I dislike when they do that, but that's the distiller's prerogative.
This
particular distiller has 7 generations. So who am I to say that I know better than they do, right?
It's their product. I'm gonna go with the chef.
Yeah. Woodford Double Oak is actually a solid guess.
Damn it. Damn it.
But
What do we got?
in this case, and I had to be cautious because I realized people can see the setup back here. And so I didn't want anything to be settled. So this actually happens to be.
It's too small for me to see.
I know. I'm sure you. This is actually Booker's small batch.
Oh, you know what? I've not once in my life have I had any Bookers.
Okay, that was what I was wondering. Well, let me turn around and talk in the microphone. That was what I was wondering, because I recall, as we share with the beer group and whatnot, that you would put things that you were like if you were traveling or at Disney or whatever.
Yeah.
So my apologies. I wasn't 100% sure if you'd had it or not.
Oh, that's okay. Man, I'm happy to try.
It's a Beam product, so a lot of the Beam products still tend to kind of come together. You nailed everything, to be honest with you. So as far as you had some of the Booker's batches, you might have been like, "That's a Booker's," you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. But no, I've always wanted to try. But I've seen Booker's retail price in a few places over the years, and I've probably read too much online about people's opinions about certain batches being good, certain batches being bad, and I've never. It's not a cheap bourbon, and even at retail price, and I don't know. I just never pulled the trigger.
Yeah. So the MSRP on this is $89.99.
Yeah.
I think I got assistance from our buddy Mike. He got it, and I do believe that the markup on it was $10. So it's like $100 bottle.
Okay.
That's not a dick swing. That's just it is what it is. You're going to pay what you're going to pay.
That's what it costs.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, so when you first said, "Wow, this has some alcohol to it," this thing, since it's been opened now for 4 months ish, has mellowed. I mean, it was an absolute heat magnet. Like
it had to be a lot hotter if it's been open for 4 months like that, and that's what I'm getting out of it.
And so some of the things, like, I was interested to see if you're going to try and kind of narrow in the proof, but you were just like, no, this is up there. This is a cask strength, so it's 125.5. Yeah. And so 6 years, 5 months. It's not age stated, but that's the month that they pulled it.
Yep.
Pretty cool experience. We didn't get to go and see any of the Beam stuff when we were up there. I don't know if you've ever been on any of the Beam tours or not.
I've been to the Jim Beam Distillery multiple times. It's a cool location. I was there the most recent times, probably 4 or 5 years in a row, for the start of the Bourbon Chase. That's where they did the overnight relay race that is now defunct, or it's either defunct or part of. I know Ragnar bought it out, and then they stopped doing it. I think probably because of COVID, but they're bringing it back. The same people that started the Bourbon Chase are doing a race called the Bourbon Trail. And it's not an overnight thing. It's like a 2-day race. Like you run through during the day and one day and then the next day. But it always starts at the Jim Beam Distillery, and they've got a nice grounds there. It's real nice.
So Beam, I guess, just reopened to the public because they took at some point early on in COVID when Kentucky shut them down. They took the stance that, well, this was the time we had a project in the works to redo the experience and all of that to begin with.
Okay.
And what I understand is they just literally reopened. I think in the last few weeks, or they're planning to reopen very soon. I can't recall.
Sure.
And so that'd be interesting. It's crazy because there's only a select few places. I mean, the buildings, just because of the way things work and how chemicals and reactions and things work, tend to get blackened on the outside, right?
Right.
Some of them just say, "Screw it, we're going to paint them black to start."
And, I don't like that. I like to see it naturally age.
Yeah, Beam is one of those that the rick house you can see from the road. Maybe it wasn't always this way, but is black.
Yeah,
because you drive right past it going into Bardstown. So from Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was super neat experience. I would love to go. I still want to go there when I go back. You brought up Makers. I still want to go to Makers. So
yeah, you're not terribly far from Heaven Hill there or Makers.
No, and Willett. Yeah, I was right there as well. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things like we were talking with Ryan last week. Like Bardstown is a weird area. Like there's 3 or 4 of them. There's Lux Row, Bardstown, Bourbon, and Barton, all right there, kind of just grouped right by downtown Bardstown. And then the others are just spread. Mm-hmm. And so Bardstown's such a weird animal. You really almost need 2 or 3 days to do Bardstown alone, even though there's only 10 or 11 distilleries.
The Kentucky's just kind of a weird place to begin with. So,
well,
these are the same people that has voted in Turkey Neck, the Gobbler, Mitch McConnell multiple times. So, you got to look at them sideways a little bit.
From my previous working life, we obviously had contracts in Kentucky, and Bashir. I mean, I didn't get to meet the guy.
Your previous working life, like you mean like you're not working anymore? You're still
Oh,
working.
no. My previous job. Sorry.
Yes. I got you.
My previous job. No, I'm still working. Yeah, that's not going to change anytime soon. But
If
it will.
you'd retired, man, I would we could celebrate it. I didn't. I would have been happy for you.
Well, I mean, I can retire. It's just a question: I want to live in this house anymore or not.
No, it's. Yeah, I hear you, man.
But yeah, but he was always an interesting one because we'd get like our corporate would, so we did Medicaid, what I used to do, and so we would obviously get like clippings of his comments about the state legislatures, actions and whatever, and this, that, and the other. And he just always, I don't know, he always found a way to get off track somehow. Like
that's what these old white guys in Kentucky do. They ramble on, and part of
it didn't take long. It may be the third sentence at best.
Yeah.
And he was off somewhere else. And you're just like, I didn't ask about the future of corn in your state or anything.
That slow Kentucky drawl, and then I don't know, he's not aged well, so
Andy Bashir's not that old though. I mean, Bashir's not that old.
No, I know that. Yeah. Whatever.
So, that's great. I'm sure I'll be censored now in the state of Kentucky, and we love bourbon, so that's great. It's gonna be problematic for the show. What the fuck ever.
No, they can't do that. Oh, they can, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm kidding. The YouTubes tends to like us, not us, but just shows in general. So sure. I think they'll protect us. The Facebooks that we're on to, I don't know about that, but whatever. So. Living dangerously.
Zuckerberg.
Ernie, you still out there, dude? Come on, we're done with our little segment. You can come on chat now. He said yo earlier.
Ernie's he's got two daughters. He's got a full life.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I don't know how younger, middle-aged, older daughters.
I believe, and I'd have to confirm this, but one of his daughters, I believe it's his older daughter, is like the same age or 1 year younger than my oldest daughter. So very, very close in that regard. Between my two daughters and his two daughters, they're a year or so apart, each of them.
So yeah, so active age.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Not to put them to bed at 7:30 age.
No, they're absolutely active. They're I've only met them a couple times, but it was years ago. But I mean, I know Ernie and his wife Liz. They're just good people.
Nice.
Yep.
Must not be him, so that's fine. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Well, that was fun. Like, I really want to do a lot more of that. And
I would like to do that more too. I would like to.
You nailed it.
I want to reciprocate and bring something and
sure.
have you that side of it.
Sure.
I'll do that.
It's 100% fair. Like, I can't just be the host of this.
No. That's not what we're trying to do either. So.
And honestly, I can tell you right now, it's just so. What I'm trying not to do initially, at least in this first few, is send like a single barrel or a store pick. Mm-hmm. But in the future, I think those have a lot of value because
I agree.
We could so I don't know if you watched last week with Ryan's, the one that I clipped out and posted, and I'll clip this one out.
I did watch it. Yeah.
You guys were both all over it, like in terms of smell and aroma and flavor. And both of you, I could tell it triggered something. But it was just so interesting to watch, to be like, but what is this, right? Mm-hmm. And so to take that next step and headshot the bottle, like, it's this. I mean,
No, it goes back to my point earlier of just try stuff. It's the only way to increase your palate, increase your knowledge about stuff. And that's not just alcohol. It's food. It's everything.
Yeah, I've starting to fall in love with store picks just because of price points on things. Like, they're still 100%. Around between the $45 to $60 price points on store picks.
Yep. The other thing also with store picks is if you find a store, generally it's one person, maybe two people in a store that are kind of making a decision on something. If you find that person that clicks with your palate, I mean, I would go buy every single store pick they do.
Absolutely.
That's what I found with Josh down at the Gator Club, and I feel real fortunate that he's so close that my palate and his, I mean, whatever he's been picking has been hitting me hard. I like it.
All the feels, Greg. All the feels.
All of them.
Stop it with all those feels. That's too funny. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
I am ready. I have a full day tomorrow, but then I'm off Sunday and Monday. So
what is
the only thing missing from this weekend is NFL football. So
this weekend?
I wish.
Everybody wishes that. So I was actually, Ernie, if you're still there, I was thinking about swinging over by Wings and Rings, and I know it's like 2-3 months out, but just booking the room for our draft.
If you guys have a spot, I swore off season long, but if you have a spot open up, let me know.
Okay. It's 10 people. I mean, there's a couple old guys in there.
I mean, I'm slowly growing into one, so it's fine.
No, I absolutely no. We're always, I mean, absolutely. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
No, it'd be fun. We do a live draft. We do it at Wings and Rings in Northport, and it's a good time. We put the draft board up on the screen on the TV, and it's a good time.
And I'm sure it really is, because that's honestly, that's truly the only element I miss of season long fantasy.
Sure.
Is having 10 or 11 other people that you just talk shit to.
Absolutely. It's the whole time. Yeah. Everybody, like the last couple of years, everybody's been real kind to my son. He probably drafted better than anybody last year, but he had massive injuries, and Jason, who was on last week, was giving my son shit through me to send to my son. Apparently he doesn't have the balls to send it to a high schooler. So,
well, I mean, probably the high schooler is larger than him. So
Cal's taller than everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, at least we'll give him that, right?
Yeah. No, he's a good kid. Cal, we got home from the game last night, and it wasn't terribly late, but it was like 10:30 or so, which is late for me. And on top of that, I had to be up at 5:00 this morning, and I didn't go to sleep right away. So I maybe got 5.5 hours sleep. And the same thing for my son. I had to take him to school. He was exhausted today, so he was all pissed off. They had a game on Thursday night, but I think they did it because the graduations in Manatee County were supposed to be today at Lecon Park, and then they put everything to tomorrow because of the weather. So,
I mean, if you're going to get it in, make sure you get it in. That's the whole point. Like, don't be delayed and only have a window this big. They had all evening last night, and it's at the end of the school year. So, if it goes later than expected, so whatever.
Sure.
What are you going to do?
No,
that's awesome. I miss those. I miss that. Like the one thing we did do, but I didn't actually get to participate, obviously. The one thing that our high school did do was on August 1st every year is kind of the open period for fall practice. Okay.
Yeah, they do the same thing here.
They have 3 weeks of practice before, and they could integrate 1 or 2 scrimmages depending on how they do it.
Okay.
We did like our high school did like a midnight practice thing, like on August 1st at stroke of midnight. They took the field. And that was fun because the first on, last off deal, whatever. Yeah.
Did people come out to watch it too, to watch the practice?
Oh yeah, we'd get 400 or 500 people. It wasn't like, and a lot of that's parents and grandparents and stuff. But
that's okay. It's an event.
It is. It totally is. And it was a good time. And of course, August 1st midnight in Ohio, it's 67, 68 degrees. It's nice.
Yep.
When
I was I'm sure a lot of colleges do this, but like Kentucky, they did Midnight Madness for the start of the basketball season, and you had to camp out. Well, I didn't have to camp out for tickets, but you had to camp out for tickets.
Right.
So
that's crazy. So how did that? So did they set a section aside for you guys?
Yeah, we had better tickets than the athletic department, like the other athletes. Like they would come in every week, whether it be football season, basketball season. It was football and basketball. Everything else you could just kind of walk into with your student ID. But the football and basketball, they would come in and just be like, who wants tickets this week? And for some of the things, they'd say, well, if it was like homecoming or something like that, who needs family tickets? How many do you need? I never got turned down for quantity, so I don't know anybody that did.
Let me ask you one more thing, because I'm super interested in your take on this. And
yeah, go.
NIL.
Oh, a fan. I'm a fan.
How do you think it would have applied? Like, I see it as a great thing for the top build athletes in the top sports. I see it as an even better thing for the teams that don't get the recognition on TV and things, that do have someone or some small group of kids that are being special.
Sure.
Maybe make a little coin.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think people are naive if they think that this stuff wasn't going on prior to this stuff. I will speak from my own personal experience and knowing people on the Kentucky basketball team. Tony Delk, when I was a freshman, was driving around in a Land Rover. He didn't have any money. Like he didn't come from money. Like his parents didn't buy that for him. So,
Rooney Penn at Ohio State, same thing. Had like a brand new Mercedes, like not an entry level Mercedes, like a.
Naive to think that people were not getting bags of money at some point. Now it's just out in the open now. And what I see it doing is leveling the field, giving some power to the individual players rather than all of it being with the school and the coaches. And more topically with the Nick Saban situation this week.
Well, that's kind of what helped drive my question. Yeah.
Sure. What I get from that, my takeaway from that is an old man not happy that that things are changing. That's what I take. So
well, I feel like for the first time, maybe ever, his boosters didn't open the pocketbooks like they had before, or the community in Tuscaloosa didn't come in and go, the car dealership's willing to give you 10 grand, and whatever's willing to give,
And that's fine, but you look at who he's competing against in the markets and such like that. I would be concerned too, because Alabama does not have as much money as Texas. Does not have as much money.
Not even close.
Does not have as
A&M, which is who he got in the beef with. Not even close.
Nope. And so in that regard, he's probably at a disadvantage. Well, guess what? Boo-hoo. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Do a better job.
Yeah. You better keep putting kids in the NFL to the tune of like 17, 18 a year, because that's the only way you're going to keep up.
I mean, for fuck's sake, for years, Nick Saban would recruit all the players in the country with no intention of playing them, just so that he wouldn't have to play against them. And he would, I mean, the term I think that they used was gray shirting them. And the people that were there, sometimes you wouldn't play for 2-3 years. And the ones that would never play, they'd ship them off to some other school, some other local, Division I AA school or some nonsense like that. That's absolutely happened.
There was a kid when I lived in Ohio, same thing.
The last 5 to 10 years.
There was a kid in Ohio that same kind of thing. He's traded priest. He's from Springfield, Ohio. Yeah. He's a linebacker and could have been any position on the field except quarterback, probably, because I don't know if he could throw or not. Yeah. Just that build and everything. He could have played pretty much anywhere. And same kind of thing, where, he ended up going there, but he didn't get to see this field much until his late sophomore year because there was an injury. I think that, and I don't think he even burned his, he didn't burn his redshirt freshman year. So that was like his third year.
Okay.
I think he did end up getting drafted, but I mean, you see it all the time. Like these rosters are just so ridiculous. They're littered with, how deep,
Yep.
And that's how they get
at the end of the day, I am always a fan, and you go into the pro sports too. I am a fan of player mobility. I'm a fan of players getting paid. I'm just sick and tired of the people at the top are the only ones making boatloads of money. That's what I'm sick of. And I am pro business. I am pro. You work hard. You absolutely deserve whatever you've worked for. Absolutely. But to that end, also, I think the athletes deserve that too. I really do.
So I looked at it this way too. So right now, our conversation kind of went to that first part of what I figured it would go to is let's look at the marquee sport, so to speak, right? And I don't mean to demean anyone, because
no. But I was in a non-revenue sport. I was a swimmer in college. We didn't make any money. I absolutely knew that. We were absolutely supported by the revenue from the football team, and the basketball team. I knew where the money was coming from.
But just like using your example, so I mean, you guys, you won SEC championships. You competed for national championships. I'm sure there still would have been interest there in getting NIL deals for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It
would not have been on the scale. Yeah, it wouldn't have been on the scale as some of the top guys in football and basketball. But they were at the time in Kentucky when I was there, they won track and field, indoor and outdoor. The cheerleading squad has won like 25 to 30 national championships over the past 25 to 30 years. Who were the other good teams when I was there? Brandon Webb was pitching baseball there. He was a Cy Young winner for the Diamondbacks when he was in the major leagues.
I even look at it because I think it extends. Now I know it's NCAA. Well, NCAA doesn't have anything to say about it because of the way they're hogtied by the courts. But I believe it even extends out to things potentially. Not that this would be the spirit of it, to things like Model UN and things like that. Because that is a thing where there are some people that end up getting exposure, like Wright State. So that's where I went, obviously. Actually has an amazing Model UN program. They make the national, if not the world council finals every year, pretty much. And so there are some people that actually do end up starting their career in civic service, whether that's through going down the path to be an elected official or going into the actual, serving and getting a salary. And they're getting known for that. So, but I could believe that there would still be a market for kids like that. Maybe only $500 here and there, but hey, $500 is pizza money for the semester, right? Or something,
Absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about. And some of the arguments I hear from some people, and I hate to keep saying this, but it's generally an older generation individual saying this, is that, they keep saying things like, well, they're making all this money from the local businesses and that's not where the vast majority of the stuff is going to be coming from. It's going to be coming from stuff online. It's going to be digital content. It's going to be that kind of stuff. And I just don't, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think change scares a lot of people. And as you get older, I think you are less. Inherently, I just think you become less tolerant of change. I think you become more cynical. I told my son today when I picked him up from school that I am working real hard to not become that get off the lawn guy. And there are parts of my personality that have gone down that road in some capacity. But
I choose to yell at clouds, not get off my lawn. But I get you. Yeah.
I'm trying. So change at the end of the day, if you really want to be honest about it, it's the only thing that's going to happen in life. There's going to be change. And
now that said, if you're watching, I'll take an NIL deal right now if you want.
Sure.
To give it
Sure.
Sorry, you were finishing a point. My
No,
apologies.
at the end of the day, it's if you are not going to embrace the change, you're going to get left behind.
You're going to get run the fuck over.
You don't have to like it. You don't have to like everything, but it's coming. It's coming whether you like it or not.
Just a great example of that. I know you probably want to get out of here shortly. If you need to go, you need to go.
A little bit, yeah. Go.
We laughed, and I literally mean laughed, and I feel terrible about this. Laughed at my nephew about 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. At that time, he was probably 7 or 8 years old. No, okay. He was probably 10. He's probably 10. About saying he wanted to go on YouTube and make money. Where the fuck are we right now?
That's where people are making money. I mean, listen.
We're not making money. Let's be clear. I'm not. Not making money off this. Maybe someday. Maybe if we're lucky and we're fortunate and people like us. Maybe.
Sure.
But 10 years ago, 8 years ago, that's where the mentality went. So you're right. We are a prisoner of the moment so much that we forget that might be a visionary thing. Maybe I should let somebody run with that and not poo-poo on their parade.
No, I at the end of the day, if you're not hurting anybody, my job is to help you or get out of the way. It's just as simple as that. It's not that complicated. Whatever you're doing, if you're not hurting anyone, well, who am I to sit here? What the hell gives me the right to say anything?
Yeah, keep going. Bye.
Yeah. What I really want in life is just to be left alone.
Yeah. Yes and no, right? Like, yeah.
Well, left alone and let me make my own choices in life. And I think that's all anybody wants.
There you go.
I really do. And I'll get a little political here. That really is the all right. I'll take two sides of it here. That's the argument between the anti-vaxxers and that sort of stuff. Is my body, my choice. Get it? Totally fine. However, I think, and it's the abortion stuff too. And I feel vehemently that stop this nonsense and let women make the choices about themselves. The COVID stuff, all well and good until your choices start affecting someone else.
Right. Yeah. We, I'm with you. Like, be responsible. Do two things. Be responsible for yourself. Mm-hmm. Be considerate of others. Move on. That's it. Yeah, that's simple. We solved it. We fixed life. Look at that.
Well, then you're just hoping people kind of follow suit to it. But I don't know. Every day I'm just trying to be a better person.
I'm just going to write a book that's like maybe 800 pages. Has a lot of quotations in it.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah. A lot of chapters.
Chapters, no pictures, single
stories. Oh man, my seat's getting warm all of a sudden. What's happening?
Friction?
No, I'm kidding. It was extending the joke.
I follow. I was a little slow on the uptick on a Friday night.
The bourbon's setting in. It's fine. It's totally fine. Oh man, that's great. So no, right. We got this long circle route on NIL, and I'm 100% with you. Like, I do see where like the reaches down into high school and stuff are kind of tough, but all we're talking about at that point is like parental issues, right? Like, does the parent have any rights or anything there, right?
Listen, if my kids came home and told me they could make some money through NIL, like today, I'd be like, fuck yeah, you can. What do you have to do?
Right. Well, it's kind of like a field trip permission slip in a way, right? I guess.
I mean, I'm still raising kids, so I'm still, checking.
And you would still care. You would still care. How are you going to do this exactly?
Exactly. I would ask those questions, but I don't have a problem if somebody wanted to monetize their Instagram.
Right.
I don't
because
care.
You know what they're posting on Instagram, and if you saw behavior change, you'd step in. Well, yeah. And I think therein lies the rub, right? Because I don't think we've switched to that next generation yet, where the parents grew up with it quite 100% to be able to pick up and recognize on that.
Well, maybe so. I will say. I think I would disagree with that in some capacity because I've thought about this a lot. With you and I are both Generation X. I think a lot of our viewers and everybody I hang out with Generation X. And you never hear about Generation X, do you? In the arguments, it's always the boomers versus the millennials kind of
That's
nonsense.
on purpose. We're latchkey kids. We just go let ourselves in the house and walk
Big,
away.
But where was I going with that? The generation. Oh, because we grew up in a time of the non-digital age. Very comfortable with that.
Transitioned. We were the weird little group that said, "Yeah, you didn't have a cell phone, but you did."
But it was our generation that created the digital age, also.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't think a lot of us. I guess I should be careful painting a broad stroke here, right? I don't think a lot of us really thought that as we got to the second generation beyond ourselves, how this social media thing would blow up like this. So I guess that's where I'm at. Is like I don't know what I don't know over there because I don't have children. You know that. Well, I see other people with children, but I'm in no position to tell you how to raise your children.
Oh, I say the same thing. Like people, like I've had some friends that have had newborns in the past few years. You know, one of them, and I've actually had my sister, and then my best friend from college, also all in the same year. Older parents, that kind of thing. But people have asked me about parenting advice and stuff. I don't give parenting advice, and my standard answer is, whatever works for me. That works for me. I don't know your home situation. I don't know I don't know your parenting style and what you guys talk about. That's your deal. The only thing I've ever said to anybody is be present.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, though. I mean,
be present in the moment. Like I was tired last night. We got home, but my son was hyped up about the win, and he wanted to talk. We probably talked for a half an hour, 45 minutes. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get going here in a second, but I'll tell you a funny story last night. 2 stories from my son.
Yeah, go right ahead.
He tells me last night. The first one he said was actually it was the only thing he told me. He was sitting in the locker room. It was yesterday morning, and he has weights first period, but they didn't lift yesterday, so his first period he's just sitting with a football team in the locker room hanging out. He's on his phone, and his coach West walks by, and my son's got his phone. He's looking at his screen and stuff like that. And Coach West walked from behind him so he could see a screen of his phone. And he yells real loud so the whole weight room can hear it. Cal, why are you looking at porn so early in the morning?
Now, please, if anyone's appalled by that about Coach West, just get off your high horse. For one,
it was a joke.
Exactly. And 2, also, it's character building, and I don't think it's the wrong way to go about it because he obviously knows Cal well enough to make that joke.
Oh, Cal's been there for the better part of almost 3 years now. So
I can tell by your reaction that he obviously knows Cal well enough. Because if
absolutely,
you know what I mean by that?
I'm curious. My son thought it was funny. Everybody was giving my son a hard time, and I told my son, I said, your coaches obviously like you, or else they wouldn't do that. Mm-mm. I said they also know who you are. They wouldn't do that, and it seems to me like you're letting those kind of goofy things roll off your shoulders pretty well. And he goes, "Yeah, it was funny." I said, perfect. I said, you got a nice relationship there.
Here's the thing. So this would be where I'd be the bad uncle, though. Okay.
Let's hear it.
So I would have advised him that if that were to happen again, and this is the appropriateness filter. Let's be okay, right? We're joking right now. Okay, I'd have been like, "No, coach, I'm just checking my OnlyFans."
I'll tell him that. That's funny.
Right. And maybe he could say it quiet enough to coach that like not everyone hears it or something, but
I don't think high school has changed that much as far as what kids are talking about from when you and I were in high school. So,
but I love it when like there's that good relationship between like a teacher or a student or a coach and an athlete.
Yep.
Like there's that joking relationship. So the coach kind of broached that barrier.
Sure.
So when you can, when a 17 or 18-year-old kid can shut up an adult because they didn't expect the response, I love that.
Yep. No, it is great. I have a lot of respect for the head coach, and I know the head coach probably better than the other coaches, but he loves all his coaches, and I really think it is not a bad thing for any kid growing up, any teenager, whatever, to have more positive role models, adult role models in your life. I think that's a good thing. You can't just be your parents. You've got to see how the rest of the world works.
That was so. I know you want to tell one more story and get out of here, but
no, that was it. That was the story.
Was it? Okay, cool. Yeah. So just on that real quick. So that was what was so enjoying. So I coached football.
Yeah.
About the time I was 30.
Okay.
Somewhere around there, 29, 30.
Sure.
So 14 years ago at this point now, 15 years ago. Dating myself, who cares? I don't care. That was kind of the fun part. Was I was that adult that was the non-family member coaching youth football.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of you family members coaching youth football, and that's a good thing and a bad thing for a lot of ways. We won't go into that. But that was the interesting and fun part of that relationship. That was that I was that kind of adult that could talk to their child, coach their child, and not be the threat or the family friend or the dad's buddy or whatever.
Yep.
And I seeing it from that side, and not saying that I was great at it at 29, 30 years old. I definitely wasn't. But it helped me help the other coaches relate that generally were family members of kids. And you had a little bit of that in high school, but not as much.
Sure.
And so you're dead on, because it helped me help the families relate to the coaches and the coaches relate to the families. And I think that's something that we need more of. If I ever get the burr up my butt again to do it, I would love to go back into coaching and do it. But I want this. I have a regular life with my main job. I wouldn't be able to give it my attention, so I can't do it right now. But it was very, very rewarding for the kids, but rewarding for me too. So
you're certainly welcome to come to Cal's football games next year if you want. If you want to come to one,
absolutely, yes. I don't know about August, September. It's fucking hot, but
it's crazy hot.
And I'm kind of heavy, so I sweat a lot. So there's got to be a lot of room.
Fair,
but that notwithstanding, that's just self-awareness. That's not being critical, folks. It is what it is. So
I hear you.
Yeah, no, awesome, dude.
Of positive adults, like the person in my life that I always think of, and I just thought of it when you said that, was my college swim coach, Gary Connolly. Without getting into the details, I don't mind getting into details, but I don't have a great relationship with my parents. It's just one of those things. And when I went to college, I think Gary was what I needed in my life. I needed, he was about my parents' age, kind of a deal, a little bit younger. And I just needed, I needed that kind of role model in my life. And he was a very important person. I need to tell him that. He lives on close to Anna Maria Island now. I need to tell him that. I don't think I've ever told him that. How
man, he would love that. Can I tell you, like,
my life as far as growth of me as a person?
He would love that. Like, we still know a number of, because we got to know the parents, obviously, being Sarah and I in a weird situation, that being like in our middle 29, 30-year-old, got to know the parents and would hang out with them because we would do team parties and there'd be drinks and things.
Sure.
But we knew the kids. And then, so like, you're in that weird middle gap, right? So like, there's a lot of these kids that ended up going on, and none of them played football. Some of them didn't play football. Some of them played other sports. Some did. And to hear later on, to be like, man, so-and-so still brings up that one thing with you. Yes. Even if it's just one moment you pull out and you tell this gentleman, please do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you understand how much that power has for him. So,
I think I do. And I'm remiss that I just haven't done it yet. So anyway, that's my thought.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff, man. Yeah.
Are you waiting for a bit, or are you taking off too?
I'm going to hang out. I'll sit here. Okay. And I think my sister's on, maybe a couple of people. I don't know.
All right,
I'll sit here and chat if anyone wants to throw at me, but dude, have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. I will see everybody next Thursday for another show.
Yes, we are definitely next Thursday, because I'm traveling Friday, being in Jersey Friday night. So we are definitely on for Thursday.
I forgot about that.
No, you're good. You're right call. We're definitely on for Thursday night next week. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Cheers, buddy.
Good night.
See you, Greg. All right. So hanging out by myself. If you're out there, I see a few people. Send me a chat. I can throw the chat up on screen. We can chat a little bit about anything. I'm trying to stretch to see if Ryan's going to make it on. Like I said, he had a baseball game, makeup baseball game for his son. And who knows? He may not. So we may just sit here and chitter chatter for a minute or two. But definitely, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, logged into YouTube, you can make a comment, and I can actually throw it up on the screen, and we can throw up a chat. In the meantime, what I am drinking on right now. So let's throw this banner up. Yes, I'm self-producing too, so I apologize. I have to look away at times. What's in my glass right now is Woodford Double Oaked. And this is, I know it's hard to see again. Sorry, folks, we don't have the magic of autofocus, but this is Manatee Whiskey Society's pick. And it is all the candy bar you could ever want. There's a ton of chocolate. There's caramel. I even think it's a little nougaty, though some people have not explained it that way. And that is what is in this glass at this very moment. So this is actually a pick. So you guys are familiar with those. If you're not, that's okay too. That just means that what Woodford did is said, hey, why don't you come up here, or we'll send you some samples, and you pick what you like. You buy a certain portion of the barrel. If you have a partner that is a distribution partner that you want to have us send that to, or if you want to come and pick it up, you can do that. And that's how this came to be. So that's what's in my glass. What is in your glass? That's what I want to know right now. If you guys are out there and watching, tell me what's in your glass. It's a Hangout show, YouTube, Facebook, Friday night. We're having a good time. Otherwise, I'm going to stretch here for a minute while I try not to ignore you guys entirely. And gonna see where Ryan's at, see what's going on, because I got to work all day tomorrow. So if I don't hang out all night on stream, it's not going to hurt my feelings. But if he's going to show up, I'm going to hang out. So let's just give Ryan a quick text right here. And somebody in the meantime, tell me what you're drinking. Don't just leave me out here hanging like that. I know there's a few of you out there. So I've told people before, it's the weirdest thing being by yourself, just sitting here chatting. I just texted Ryan. So here's what I'm going to do in the meantime while I'm waiting a response from him. Put my phone here. I am going to try to find something interesting if I can find it. And I can have the ability to share my screen. So that's what's really cool here. I hope it doesn't come over there. I have my laptop over here, my watchback monitor, my playback monitor over here. So it could be very interesting, to be honest with you. So if you happen to watch this back, which I don't know that many people do watch back for an entire hour or hour plus podcast, please, 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 please fast forward until maybe you see some more activity. So I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for someone to come along. Okay, Ryan will not be joining us. So I am going to make the executive decision to go ahead and end the stream here very shortly. I have this much left in my glass. In the meantime, I want to reward anyone that's watched this long, or if you happen to select to move to the end of the video, with some information that I will be making public this week. And it's actually amazing news. So let's take this off the screen in case I decide to take this out. I'm pausing because I may have to cut this out of the video, so it might get a little awkward for a minute. I may do some Max Headroom kind of retakes here and there, so I can edit it down. But I want to make good use of this time while I have myself and have it recording and going live to the world. And if you happen to get down to here, great. So Friday, July 1st at Corporate Ladder Brewing Company, we will be doing our channel launch. What does that mean? So that is essentially where we will be coming out and saying, hey, listen, we've been toiling around with this thing for 3-4 months now, but we are now a YouTube channel that we want you to pay attention to. We've wanted your attention the whole way along. Don't get me wrong, but we are absolutely ready finally to say, listen, this is what we're committing to. We kind of have an idea what you guys want. We've seen the live numbers kind of dip down quite a bit. Someone's out there. Who's out there? Give me a shout out if you're on there on Three Drinks Down on YouTube. Tell me who you are. I was going to kind of cut a little promo here, and you joined at the right time. Whoever you are, you're finding out that we're going to do a channel launch at Corporate Ladder on July 1st. So, I don't know. Answer and say holy shit in the comments, whatever. But, yeah, okay. It doesn't tell me who you are, so I don't know who you are. So, just sitting here by myself. Greg exited. Ryan just said he's not going to make it. I'll hang out with you for a few minutes. And if a few other people join, then we'll keep the conversation going. I have Woodford Double Oaked Manatee Whiskey Society in my glass. What do you have in your glass? Such a weird thing. I don't know who you are. It is kind of crazy, isn't it? Come on. Tell me who you are, or at least pop a comment out there. And I know it's delayed like 10 seconds, so you're probably just not hearing that. But you got the scoop first, whoever you are. You heard it here first. 7-1 Corporate Ladder. Might be a specific beer being brewed for that too. Don't know. Allegedly. Right? That's what we're supposed to say. Allegedly. All right, folks. I am going to give it about another 30 seconds to a minute. I'm probably going to call it stream tonight, and I got a long day tomorrow. But I appreciate anyone and everyone so far that has supported us. Please continue to support us. We know the live streams are not the easiest to make, and unfortunately, it's just kind of what's on our hearts to do. We enjoy doing it. But that said, the recorded content is coming. It's just a slow grind to get up and running. And so I hope you guys enjoy that when we do put it out. We absolutely really want to make sure that you guys have what's enjoyable to you here. Yes, we want to make sure we enjoy making the content at the same time, but we want to make sure you guys have something that is enjoyable and you'll watch, because otherwise there's no point in doing this whatsoever. We can get together and just drink in person and just not even record it, not even put it up. But we really feel like it's just fun. It's fun to have the whole community. We missed it. We honestly don't get a chance to do it as much, and look forward to doing it with you. So I do not see anything coming through. I'm going to call it for the evening, guys. I appreciate anyone that made it this far. We dropped some nuggets here at the end. If you happen to fast forward to the end, maybe go back just a little bit and you'll hear it. But otherwise, thank you. Everyone have a great weekend. Cheers.